Good evening. It is Friday, August 22nd. This is an end of the week update. I can't believe that it was Sunday when I did my last update. It felt like Monday, maybe Tuesday. It's been a busy week at work, and it's been a busy week in the pre production department. In no particular order, as I mentioned, I had gotten that wrong lens and I couldn't send it back to the person because it was an individual. So I relisted it back on eBay for a little bit less than I paid for it, after shipping and taxes and blah, blah, blah. And immediately got an offer that was, so I listed it for $345 and someone offered me 200 and I didn't even make a counter offer. Didn't get any other activity, which is unfortunate. So I went on the B&H website. Everyone knows about B&H Photo. I expect if you have any interest in photo and video. And I was asking a guy there on the chat about buying an adapter for it to see if it could be used with another camera. And because I asked Grok about it, and Grok said, oh, yeah, blah, 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 and gave me all this stuff. Then I asked the guy at B&H. He said, no, Grok doesn't know what it's talking about. That's why it's AI and it's not a real person. It can't be used. Or if it could, it would be pretty shady whether it would work or not, because I was wondering if I might be able to use it or have it for another purpose. And then I put in the specs for it to see how much B&H would pay for it used. And I think it was $210, which was just $10 more than the guy said he would pay. And so I'm realizing that I'm kind of screwed in a way. So it got automatically relisted, and I don't know if it's the same guy or a different guy automatically. So I think I relisted it for $325 and someone offered $180. And I was like, this is, I paid this much for it and I made a mistake. I know it's not your fault, but the least I can go is $275. And so he came back and offered $190. So I said, we are way too far apart, but I'll do $265 just because, and I haven't heard back from him. So my guess is, so what else I learned is this lens, which is the EFM mount, I guess it's either a discontinued mount or it goes for discontinued cameras. So while the guy at B&H said it's a great lens and, it works fine and all that, it may not be super popular. So I kind of learned a good lesson there. And I think when I bought some of this stuff on eBay, I should have probably countered more, is what I'm realizing. But I don't want to, I want to feel like I gave people what, their money's worth and I got my money's worth. Maybe not a great strategy. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what I'll end up selling it for. In the meantime, it's still around here somewhere. Speaking of lenses, I got my last lens and I haven't even opened it yet. I'll unbox it. It's a which way do I have to turn it? It's a cine lens, an actual cinema lens, a prime lens. I don't know what it means, cinema lens. T2.1, which is nice. And it's not brand new, I don't think. It might be like open box or something. But I'm just literally now opening it. So if it's like cracked or something, I'll be extremely disappointed. Let's see. Wow, it's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Yeah, it's got all the paperwork and everything. Paperwork. Nice. It was packaged very nicely. Foam. Wow. This thing is heavy and not short either. This is the lens cap? Sorry, for you non-geeks, you can either skip ahead or, interesting. You can either skip ahead in the video or just turn it off. So, wow, this is heavy. Holy smokes. Made in China. Well, they make some good stuff. So, yeah, this is... Ooh, that's a nice fit over there. And then it's got a tiny little hood. And then I dropped something. not sure what this is. So yeah, this, man, I think this is heavier than any of my lenses. Maybe even I have a 70 to 200 Sigma. Holy cow, that is one heavy lens. So again, if you're bored with this, just move ahead. But this is like the only time I've really showed gear. So I'm going to have to, I guess the bottom line is, I'm going to have to use this a lot. Oh, so there's a little Allen wrench and there's, oh, I wonder if that's something you put between, like you put between the lens and the camera. I know I've got one of a pretty heavy lens at work. And when it's real heavy, they put like a little support on so you can, yikes, I got all these little screws. You like put it like this and then you can attach it to the camera somehow. Yeah, they do. They have the, so I'll have to see if that works. Wow. All right. So I guess I haven't tried it obviously, but hopefully success on that. Got to put all these things away so I don't lose them. I just don't feel like it's going to fit back in there. Put it in here for now. So the other news is, all right, unboxing complete. The other news is that the actor who is taking over the role of Bubsy, which if you have read the script, which I don't know how you could have, maybe you saw the table read, he is sort of the fifth biggest part of the movie. He's got 3 days of work. We're really cramming a lot of stuff into 3 days. So those are going to be some action-packed days. I'm just thinking we're going to probably have to move some stuff around. Anyways, I sent him an offer of, so keep in mind, this is like an ultra low budget movie. I'm trying to spend, I'm trying to spend the least I can, which is probably the same with all movies, but like $15,000 or less. My goal is even like less than that. So to pay someone, quote, what they're worth, if you were paying SAG rates, I would probably be paying $1,000 or more per day, per actor. And I think I sort of did a budget once, like if I paid SAG minimums for even like ultra low budget. And if I paid myself, I paid the crew, blah, 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 blah. I think it was like, I don't know, $120,000, $150,000, which is probably reasonable. So frame this in the grand scheme of things, the total budget under $1,500, and how much can I afford to pay one actor who admittedly is a good actor. I've worked with him, and he has a sizable, important role. And I'm not going to say I don't have any other choice, but I sort of don't. Nothing against him at all, because he's an awesome guy. So anyways, I sent him a offer, and he took a few days. He thought about it. He made a counter offer, which obviously was higher, not lower. And I don't know. I was trying to think when I first saw it, because I had sort of been waiting on pins and needles for his email. So when I first saw it, and I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't think that would be professional, but let's say it was, I could tell a percentage. It was like 30% higher than I had offered. But what I had offered was not a ton of money. So it's all relative. So when I first saw it, I don't think I was disappointed. Was I surprised? I kind of thought, based on our early phone calls and chatting, that, well, I was going to say that he would be happy with kind of what I offered him. But as I think back on it, it was kind of, I wouldn't say childish, maybe naive. Maybe naive is a better word. So I plugged in the new rate that he asked for into my master spreadsheet. And then, of course, we're paying for his hotel and meals and blah, blah, blah. But he is paying for his travel to get up here. So taking that all into account, and I'm not going to say I fudged any numbers because I have no I have no fudge to fudge with. But I realized, like I said, I don't have a, I mean, I do have a choice. There's always a choice, but it's still very, very, very reasonable. And so I'm kind of spinning my wheels here. But the bottom line is I do have an email ready to go back to him to say, yes, that will be good. And then I just want to spell everything out in terms of what he's responsible for, what the production is responsible for. And then I'll add that into kind of his contract / release and send it to him. And I'm just waiting for a text back from 2 consultants on a few related matters. So bottom line, that is hopefully said and done. That should be all the acting things. Having said that, I'm sure other things will come up. He is providing a car, which we're going to use in the movie, his car, which is nice. And of course, being the low budget, all the actors are doing their own wardrobe. We will have some hair and makeup people, which I've probably mentioned. Whenever my voice starts getting nasally, it means I've been talking too much. So I apologize for that. I spoke with the woman who's doing like the sort of, I don't know if wouldn't really be considered an AD, script work, continuity, and she's going to be doing Jill of all trade stuff. I talked to her today. She's working on the call sheets, which is, I'm very grateful for that. And still waiting to hear from Brett if he is going to be flying with Reese and Sky or not, because I haven't bought his ticket yet. So there's that. I still need to buy, I got the follow focus rod, which I think I didn't show that yet, but I still need to get the rings which go around the lens. And I was waiting to get this last lens so I could confirm the diameters and not screw up any other orders. Oh, I went through the script. This was interesting. Wow, this is turning into a long one. I went through the script yesterday and I think Tuesday. And for the first time ever, including the other scripts that I've made, I looked at each scene and I assigned a time of day to it. So, of course, in the screenplay, you've got day, night, and then, if you've got like day break, you might put that on. But otherwise, I'm very strict to the day and night. But then when you think about it, when you go to film a scene, if you say day and it's 7 o'clock at night and the sun's about to set, unless you specify sunset, when you're shooting it, you need to know what time of day. So, not that you can do a lot about the sun, but we have a lot of interiors. So I went through the script and I put like 8 o'clock, 8:05, 8:10. So if scenes were concurrent one after another, I would try to estimate how long that's going to take. And then if there are time, not lapse of time, but time lapses, time goes on between scenes. So anyways, I went through the whole script and did that. And I found a couple of things that I probably have to go back and fix either in the script or in the times, because I realized that, a certain thing would happen and then it's either 6 hours later or it's 1 hour later. And I'm realizing, that doesn't quite make logical sense. So I think that's a good exercise and it will help when we shoot just to know, hey, it's high noon, so the light would be not coming in the window or blah, blah, blah. So that was a good exercise. And then as I went through, especially the first day, up maybe the first 40 pages of the script, I was also tweaking dialogue. And, when you've taken a break and you come back and you start working on the script, you get that, I won't say panic, but it's like, is this really good? Is this really good enough? Could it be funnier? Could it be more dramatic? Is it too on the nose? And all those typical writer concerns. So I think those will always be with me. We are going to try to have a script, not a read through, but kind of a review with the people playing Mitch and Bubsy who weren't on the first one because one of them wasn't cast. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks. I'll report back and probably record that when that happens. The weekend, I'll probably do a little more filming practice just to get used to the different lenses now, and some editing, color correction, which you can really do later. Storyboarding, oh gosh, that's another thing. Wow, you may be really fast forwarding through this. So in Blender, which I don't know if you know what Blender is, it's a free open source program that does 3D. It does video editing, sort of. It does, you can do motion graphics with it. You can do a lot of stuff. It's awesome if you've never heard of it and if you're into that kind of thing at all. So, anyways, you can do very rudimentary, in my case, very rudimentary storyboarding. You can import 3D characters and just place them. I mean, I'm not going to build a whole set with furniture and everything, I don't think. But you can place them in a room at approximately where you want them. And then you can set up cameras with actual focal lengths that are the same as your lenses. And then you can block out the scene. So I just did literally one scene because there's an add-on or plug-in, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to make it work. But you don't care about that. But so my hope is to do the whole movie, and I'm really going to have to get going to do that. But I've kind of got a chunk of time. I hope to be able to accomplish that. So if I can do all that, that's going to be, again, a big help in terms of efficiency. I sort of storyboarded my previous movie a little bit, but not to the extent that I hope to do this one. Ooh, all right. That is where I will stop for tonight. Thanks for hanging in there. If you did, I may give another weekend report if anything of significant happens. If not, I'll give a weekday report, or who knows when I'll give the next report. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for making your movie and telling me how great it is. I will see you next time around.